Hello, hello. Seems like there's about a 5-second delay. I did do a little testy, but that's not bad. Everything seems to be working just fine. These are the dual forms we're going to be working with today. I just wanted to give it a couple of minutes for anybody who wants to come to have some time. I've already prepped my nails so that we can go ahead and start getting these applied. Cat lover, hello, welcome. So I've picked out these for the underside. They're going to work for both. On my left hand, we're going to do these. And on my right hand, we're going to do these. And we're going to make some fun shapes. I've also got 2 polygels. I've got this clear one. And then this one is clear with glitter in it. There's some red glitters and then some silver glitters. It kind of goes with my outfit. Not that I wear red every day, but it's still February, so I'm like, that's fine. All right, notifications. All right, I'm going to move this to the side, though. Hi, Nail Art by Cindy. Yes, they do. I've actually used them one time before, and there's a bit of a learning curve, but I feel like I was getting better at it as I was going. So I'm gonna do it again, and this is the part that I wanted. I didn't really need tops. I have plenty. But this makes a huge difference because I am really awful at estimating how much of it I actually need. And so I put way too much, and then cleaning it out underneath is a huge burden. So this helps the underside be much cleaner. So we are just going to put the top coat on here and then cure these to the undersides of my nails. That's what I have this flash cure lamp here for. I'm going to try and make them some kind of straight. That seems like it's straight as it's going to be. All right, so that's how we're going to do it. And then once we get this hand on, I'll peel all these off, and then we'll be able to use them for the other side. I have particularly C-curvy nails, and so sometimes I gotta pinch this a little bit to actually get it to fit up underneath there and be between my nails. All right, let me try and make this straight. I think that looks straight. You couldn't get the bottom to cure on the nail. Well, what were you using to stick it on? And were you putting it underneath or on top? I've seen people put it on top, but I feel like that's going to make it harder to remove once you've got it pinched between the bottom and the gel. So underneath seems to be the way it's meant to be used, but maybe it's whatever you were using to stick it on that was not sticking. I don't know. I imagine that you have options for it, but I think top coat is what I've seen people use most, maybe because it's the easiest to peel off. I would be afraid to use like a gel glue because I think it would probably stick too good, and that's not really the goal either. I think that's straight. I hope so. I am definitely a permanent member of the Crooked Fingernail Club. I struggle to get these things on straight, but I'm going to sure try. Hi, Celtic Nails. Thanks for coming. I use a peel-off base coat on top of my nail extensions, but I imagine why it would be a problem while you're doing this. You don't want to do a peel-off and then this, because then they're going to fall off. With it just being the top coat and on the underside of your nails, it's on there well enough that it stays, but not so well that you can't peel it off, because it's top coat. It's not that sticky without prep. And I have done exactly 0 prep on the underside. The top side, that's a different story. I think I might be getting low in this bottle. Cindy, have you, oh goodness, have you not seen someone do this before? They are still relatively new, but they're really exciting. I've only used them once before. And on this hand, we're going to use some square tops, not the tops that came with it. I think you should try it again. Absolutely. Sometimes the first time is just for learning, and once you work out the kinks, you can do it better the second time. My first time took a long time because I had to figure things out, but I did get better as I went. All right, so we've got those. Let's get the thumb. Okay, all right. Well, I mean, that's halfway there. You've got the supplies. Now you just got to find an opportunity. I really like it. I don't do a whole lot of polygel nails, but I do polygel nails when I want to wear a unusual nail shape, because I got lots of full cover tips in my traditional shapes. But today I felt like I wanted to do something a little different, and this is the way to make that happen. That is not straight at all. Look how horrible that is. God. Ugh, man. I'm trying to decide if that's going to bother me enough to peel it off. I think it is. Yeah, see how easy that comes off, but it does leave this bull crap. So let's file that off of there. All right, get that extra top coat out from underneath. There we go. Yeah, depends on how much space you've got when you got it up under here. I try to get them to be pretty flush, but like again, because my C curve is so strong, it can be a little bit difficult to get it perfectly under there, but it's fine. All right, I just cracked this one loose. Dang it. Let's try this again. And let's try to do it straight this time. God. See, the problem with this is I bang my nails into each other. All right, let's see. Does that look straight? I feel like maybe. Okay. Yeah, that's much straighter. Now I've pretty much banged all of these into each other. That's wonderful. Now I have to put this one back. This is obviously going to be a difficult day because I have decided to put them all on at one time. Maybe that's a mistake. I can't remember. It's been a couple of months, I think, since I did this the first time. And so maybe when I did that, I just did one at a time. I think so. And then this one fell off. Okay. Yes, I'm going to say that you should not put them all on at one time because that seems to make it harder. I'm just gonna put this down. And then I just banged that one. Dang it. Okay. 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 Let's stop being idiots. How about that? Let me fix these again, get all this extra off that I made for stupidity. See, look, we've already learned a lesson. Don't put them all on at one time. It doesn't work. They just fall off. One at a time is plenty. Ugh. And a lot of gel under this one. Scrape it out. Okay. Well, yeah, one or two for sure. Hi, Trisha. Hi, Dee. Hi, Jess. So I think, yeah, going forward, we're just going to do one or two at a time, probably one. We've got this one on here. We might as well start with this one. That's really weird for me. That's very much against my nature because I like to start on the pinky, but we're going to do it because we've already got it on there. So let's do that. So for my thumb and my ring finger, as long as I can remember and not forget what I'm doing the glittery ones. The others are going to be the clear ones. And the reason that I'm choosing to do mostly clear is because I paint on top of them and I want to have the option of doing clear nails. But I am making a sacrifice for these two. I want to get that out of there. To be a color, even though it will show through on whatever I put on top of it, because I want to wear them for a little bit of time by themselves. Here, let's just squeeze this right in here. We got a whole big old nail. All right. This one is very, very soft. So this is Lime Girl brand Polygel. And I don't know why, but it is like the softest and stickiest polygel in creation. I don't particularly like its formula because of how soft and sticky it is, but it's the only one that I had that looked like this. So it's the one I decided I would do. I'm just gonna struggle. But I'm only doing 2 nails on each hand with it. So maybe we can do okay. I'm going to try not to go too far towards the back because that's going to squish very, very thin. Oh, man, I've just banged that into the lamp. A little flash cure lamp. So it cracked. It's trying to come loose. Maybe get your polygel into your dual form first. How about that? That's an idea. Okay. Ew. It's all kinds of sticky. I mean, it is cute. It's just sticky. Let's see about getting this on here. Start from the back, roll it forward. And I have, as usual, severely estimated how much of this I'm going to need. So now I get to clean all that up. I'm just going to hold these while I wipe at this. Good Lord, I've got too much by a lot. Certainly going to try and do a better job on the next nails. The last time I did this, I had to do a lot of filing after because I didn't clean this part off because I was like, let me not make this harder than it has to be and I'll just do it after. That was not the right move. And I'm pretty sure the underside of this is not attached anymore because when I banged it, yeah, this whole thing is coming off. Great. Great. Okay. I am very annoyed. This is not going to work like this. I have to clean all of this. This is disgusting. One second. I am making the biggest mess ever. Hi, Valerie. I also love to watch my YouTubes on my TV, even though you can't type from the TV, but that's all right. Please do hit the like button with your pity for my struggle. If you feel like this is unfairly difficult, hit the like button. Because I think I am making it harder than it has to be. I don't even remember having this many problems when I did it last time, but maybe because I didn't have to spend so many times doing it wrong first. Yuck. Hate to waste all this polygel because I only have a little tube of this one, but like not much that can be done about that because I need to clean this up. And like where can I even put this? Nowhere. On the stick, I guess. I'm going to try and just sit that in my cup of alcohol. And clean this out. Okay. All right. I think we can call that cleaned up, sort of. My whole hands are sticky now. I'm going to just dump some alcohol into my hands real quick and rub them together. You can't see it because I've had to back up since I'm doing it over the floor. Here we go. That's like sanitizer. Get all that sticky out of there. Oh gosh. Oh my goodness. While I've been not paying attention, let me show y'all what happened. It's just been dripping. So lucky me, I get to clean that up too. I was trying not to waste this one, but we're going to waste it now because there's not really an alternative. Everything is going so well. Thanks for coming, guys. I hope this is at the very least entertaining or maybe insightful so you don't make the same terrible decisions I make. Okay. Disgusting. Okay. I'm going to get another paper towel because that one is very sticky and gross. We'll just cover that up. Get some more wipes. Thank you. I appreciate your confidence. All right. Now, a little bit of gel left underneath here. Get that out. Since we've had to throw that polygel away, I don't exactly have to do this nail next, so I'm not gonna. This one's just a little bit more sticky. I'm about to set this back over there on the side, and we're gonna start with the pinky like I had intended, because it just gets harder the more inward you go. So I like to have the outer ones done so they're not banging into everything, hypothetically. All right. Goodness gracious. Let's close this soft boy. It's also very warm in here, which probably isn't doing me any favors. We have a tiny little pinky nail. Oh, this one's firmer. I'm going to have to scrape this off because I did open it earlier and it's like dry and crusty. I don't want to use that. So I'm just going to put that over there. All right. Now, this time it's going to go the way it's supposed to, and we're not going to struggle as hard. That's what I've decided. I really only need a tiny bit of this for this little bitty nail. I might put it on here and then scrape it in there. Yes, this one is a much firmer polygel. Good Lord. Okay. Get some alcohol on that. Now we'll get this pushed where it's supposed to be. I'm going to try and keep it very thin in this back area so that it doesn't just ooze everywhere when it pushes out, because it will. I don't need that much back there. My fingernail fills up most of it. That's one of the biggest struggles I've always had with like full cover tips and dual forms is like, unless they have a particularly high apex built in, my nails are too curvy for them. And so they won't go all the way down the side. And then my nail will fill it up. And so there's no space for product, and then the product's too thin. There's an air bubble in here, and I am not sure how I'm going to get that out of there without making it worse. That's plenty long, because like, yeah. Maybe I'll just keep it. I feel like if I try to get rid of it, I'm probably just going to make the polygel gross. Hi, Golden Phoenix. Hello, Roblox. All right, let's put this one back on. Get out the way. Get some of this top coat. I want the timer to just come on that. Get up under there, you. All right, so I have to hold this like with my other finger so I can get a kind of an idea because my pinkies are so incredibly crooked in their existence that like straight is not really straight. Let's do that. Okay. So that way, whenever I turn it around, it's not like shooting off over here. Because if I make it go straight along with this finger instead of like way like this one, then it looks really weird. But I don't like it to be too far this way because then it bangs into this one. So it's a balance of how crooked do I want it to be, because I like to look at it this way and I want it to look best when it's this way. All right, now get that pushed back. I'm going to try and roll it all forward because I want the goo to push forward more than any other direction. Okay. Now, there is a little bit that has squished out on the sides, but honestly, at this point, it's not so bad, and I think it would probably be easier if I don't dilly-dally with this very long. I'm just going to get that little bit off because it's kind of a chunk, but then we'll just file the rest. Well, I would get it off, but apparently it wants me to fight with it. Yeah, I don't want to, yeah, see, I was taking too long and it lets it start to lift up and make air. I don't want to do that. Squish that back down. All right, let's flash. Dang it, my little lamp turned off. Okay. 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 That looks pretty good. Now, one thing I failed to look at is this. I recommend you do, because you can see my arch is not in the center. So that means when we get down here, one side's going to be thicker than the other. That's not ideal. So we're going to try to remember to check this end on the next one. Yeah? Okay. I'm wondering if we should just full cure and then take the dual form off, or if we should leave this until we get several of them on, which is what I think would be the right thing to do. Surely that can stand up for a little bit. We flash cured it enough. Oh, put this down. Let's put some polygel in this one. We got to go back to that sticky one. Close this one. All right. Let's use much less of this. Ugh. Okay. We're just going to put it right here. And hope that's enough. I always get too much. Rarely do I get too little. So, not concerned about that happening. So sticky. Like, I'm trying to keep this brush pretty alcohol-y, but it's still so very sticky. Ugh. Yeah, these Lime Girl ones are so hard to work with, but I've got a whole collection of them. Definitely don't recommend them, though. Especially if you're starting out with polygel, don't get Lime Girl. It's just going to make your life hard. I think that's spread out enough. Set that right there and try not to cure it. Let's get this one added. Now this is one of my particularly C-curvy nails, so I gotta get that up underneath there. All right, that looks pretty straight, I think. And of course the lamp is off again. It can be really cool, Golden Phoenix, but like there's a steep learning curve. I definitely think it's easier if you have one that's not so sticky, like the Roslyn one is fine. And then, you know, some of the more popular brands like, you know, Polygel and whatnot. I mean, there's good polygels. Macart is probably the best polygel, really. But like, it's messy and it's sticky. And so you've got to learn how to get around the sticky part, and then you're kind of okay. It's nice because it doesn't dry like acrylic, so you have more time to finagle until you get it the way you want it. Look at that. Just tipping up. Get in there. All right. I don't think that's too bad on the spillage. It's a little bit, but not crazy. But this back part, don't want to stay. Whenever I lift it up, see, it lets all that air in there. It's because it doesn't fit just perfectly. Okay, I'm just going to have to squish this down really hard. And then I'm going to have to clean it up back there. Let's cure it. I didn't even look down the center of it again. Dang it. Whatever. Welcome back. Regular dual forms are hard because it all googes everywhere underneath. I was never able to get good at it without making it too much underneath. And then they would be like too thin because the dual form on top would be too flat, so I couldn't get very much product, and then so they would break. But this is better. And these extreme nail shapes, they often have higher apexes, so they actually fit around my curve. But like the little normal dual forms, they're all too flat. They're for flat nailed people. I don't have flat nails, unfortunately. All right, let's see. You know, we got the end of that one actually pretty good. It's not horrible. It's pretty centered. Now I am going to have to do some work up here because as you can see, there's plenty of air bubbles because the cuticle of it is too wide because my nail it's skinny and it kind of curves in, but it's so tall this way that you have to have a size big enough to go far enough down on the side, but it makes it too wide. And that is one of the great struggles of a C-curve. Alrighty, next one. Back to the clear. Goodness gracias. You know what? And I was going to put these on the other hand. I forgot I was going to do the square ones on this hand. But I guess the square ones are going to go on the other hand, which is fine. I mean, ultimately, it's the same method. They're just slightly different shaped on top. That seems like way too much polygel. Yes, I have that brand as well, but I have the almondy ones because I had these that I can make the common coffin shape with. And really, there's a glitter in there and that makes me displeased. The only reason I got the almond shape is so that I could get the bottoms because I don't wear almond shaped nails. but I couldn't find anywhere where I could buy only the bottoms. I didn't need the tops of any because I have a gazillion dual forms. But I wanted the bottoms so that I could use them under stilettos because they come to a point. I have not tried that yet, but that's the intent. All right. I know that's too thick, but it's whatever. We'll squish it and then clean it up. Gotta do what you gotta do. Ugh, I set this right in that glob of polygel that I put up on the corner of that napkin because I forgot it was there. Don't do that. Okay. Let's get this one put on. All right, let's see. I think that looks pretty straight. Yes. I have a bunch of McCart from when I used to get their monthly sub box. I used to do a lot more polygel back before I got such good full cover tips. Okay, that looks all right. Let's get this guy put on here. It is squishing all out back here, and it's a lot, so I'm going to try and clean it up a little bit. Filing that part off, especially around the cuticle, is just going to make me skin up my cuticle. Ew. See, this is the part that's crazy. It's like, why does it slide down? Like, where are you going? I didn't say to do that, so then I gotta slide it back, and I'm gonna have this ridge shoved up under there. But I'll manage. I'll clean it up. Ugh, and the lamp, of course, is turned off on me again. This flash cure lamp pisses me off because it turns off so quickly. And like, I've got it on so that I can use the motion sensor, but it's not motion sensor if I have to turn it on every time I need to use it. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm hoping they're going to come out really cute. In my mind, they're going to be cute. I don't know, man. They lie to you. They make it seem like with this kind of gel that when you stick it, it's going to stay where you put it. But that's not true at all. Like, look at all this junk. I couldn't see that because it was behind my finger. I'm going to have to clean all that up and more squished out over there. Gross. Right, let's get another clear one made. Now, I'm not going to wear these as long as this. Like, we're going to be filing these down significantly. And so having all this extra polygel is actually just going to end up being a lot more work for that reason too. But, I mean, I don't know how to get the right amount of polygel. I always get too much. If y'all know how to actually get the right amount, please let me know. I've never been able to do it. All right. I want to try and at least make sure it's good sidewall to sidewall, but one of the things I worry less about, because when you squish it on, it does squish it down the sides. But I'm like, what if I can't see it? Because with clear polygel, you can't. I do not want rogue glitters in my clear nails. I'm like, and then I peel it off and like the whole side's like, then I'll have to do a repair job and that'll be annoying. But it wouldn't be the first time. Always having to fix stuff. Forgot which hand I needed to hold this in. All right. Let's do this straight as possible. And the lamp's off. Great. Thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate your confidence and excitement because I'm excited. Like, I know that they're going to be cute once I get them there. It's just going to be a fight until then. And that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. I think that's straight, right? Let's get this one put on. Watch it squish everywhere because that might be what I just have to live with. I was trying to do less squishing it everywhere by learning, but maybe that's just not how it's going to be. I remembered to look down the center. That one's pretty good. I'm gonna cure this part right here. I can see that it's squished behind my finger some, but maybe that part won't cure and this part will, and then when I move my finger, I can have a better chance of cleaning some of that up. Maybe. Actually, yes, I used a builder in a bottle instead of a hard gel because I'm lazy. And I did put down a layer before this. Looks like it's semi-cured, so I'll just clean it up the hard way. Yeah, look at all that nastiness because I couldn't get it to wipe off. I'm gonna have to file my skin, but that's something that I do. I got an air bubble here. Great, great, great. Okay, now we're back to this one, this big glittery one. Hi, Nana Ange. So I didn't add like an additional base coat because what I used is actually this one. I just got it, so I'm still trying it out, but it's a 12-in-1, so it's supposed to do everything. So that's what I put on under here. Glad you were able to stop by. Yeah, I'm also not per se ambidextrous, but I'm better than I used to be. That I can say. I used to be much worse at it. And that's why I like to actually start with this hand, because right now, this is my non-dominant hand. He's not very good at his job. So if I use him first when he doesn't have any obstacles, then he has an easier job to do. But when I go in to do the other hand, I'm going to be using this hand, which is going to have nails on it already. And so the job is going to be harder because of that. And I need to be able to trust the hand with the nails. And so that's why I make that job my dominant hand's job. He's more trustworthy. God, I just can't get it thin enough back here with this sticky thing. Look at it. Like I'm barely touching it and it's just so goopy. Ugh, get off my other hand. You don't belong over there. try to make it as thin as possible, but because it's clear, you can't hardly see it. You don't really know when it is. All right, I'm just going to hope for the best. I think that's sufficient, right? Let's see here. Oh, yeah, absolutely. When you get a little bit more free time, surely check it out. We had a very difficult start, and so there was plenty of opportunity to learn some things immediately. Thank you. I'm glad you like it. I wanted a little something special that will go with my outfit. Now, let's not make this one crooked like we did the first time. So I'm going to hold it like this. That we can see the whole length of it. And I think that's pretty straight. Let's push that button and turn that on. Okay. All right. Now we're going to put this one on. I'm going to squish it down. I feel like there's air bubbles in here, but I'm not sure. I think the end of it is kind of centered. Oh, look, you can see there's like none over here. None. How could I not see that? I can't cure that on there like that. There's nothing. Dang it. That means I don't have enough. That never happens. Hi, Mikey. I didn't even see you come in. Welcome. Let me peel this off. Ugh. Put some more. Good Lord. I'm going to have so much cleanup to do. Hope you guys love cleanup, because you're going to get to see some. All right. Now let's try it. There's a lot, but like, ugh. I'm about to clean up this whole nail again and start over. Okay. On. I don't see any obvious bubbles. Let's cure this part here. I didn't check and see if it's got the bottom side centered, but whatever. You love my sound effects? I make a lot of sound effects for my life. I have a sound I call my sound of displeasure. So when things happen that I don't like if I bump into stuff, I go, ah! Let me get the back of this a little bit. It cracks me up. This is kind of hot. That means I get a lot of gel. Hi, Linda. Welcome. All right. So we've got all of them flash cured on. I've got my lamp over here. That one. I have the not polished lamp. That's the one I've been trusting recently. I used to buy Amazon lamps and I got tired of rebuying them. So let's do a full 60-second cure. And actually I do more than that. I do 60 on top and then flip it over and do another 60. And then I flip it over and do another 60. I don't think that's necessary, especially with clear polygel, but it makes me feel better. So that is why I do it. So what have you guys got going on this fine Valentine's Day? Y'all doing anything fun? I was supposed to go to Dallas this weekend, but then my little boo got COVID. So I'm like, well, I'm not coming. So I'm at home. I'm so tired of being cold. I feel you. Like, I'm still having to turn my heated blanket on and stuff. It's getting better, but it's not great. Okay, let's start taking these off. So we're gonna set these to the side over there because we're gonna need them. And then we're gonna pop these loose, and I'm just gonna pile them right here. And so we'll see what we got going. Ugh. More sound effects for you. Look at all that. There's a giant air bubble right there. It's completely inside. And unfortunately, it's in an area where it's going to be stressful. And it looks like it actually goes down right here. So this is probably going to break across here at some point. All I can do is hope that I made it thick enough otherwise to withstand that. But I couldn't see it because it was clear. Ugh. That's a long nail. That pretty much filled up the whole thing. But like, look at all that. I'm going to file it. Oh, and it's got the lines. Interesting. Look at that. That's just gross. Okay. All right. Overall, I think they're straight. They're not bad. They definitely need Jesus. But we're gonna just do the best we can. Luckily, some of this I can peel off. I'm just trying to break off some of these big chunks that are going to annoy me because I'd like to put the other hand on before we really start cleaning up so we can just get everything done at once. Yeah. Most of this is like where it's at the seams, it is easy to break it, but I would say be careful doing that because when I was doing it last time, I had some pretty big ones and I broke some of the actual nail that I wanted to keep. So I think we're gonna let this be, and we're gonna get over here and work on this guy. Yeah, I know they'll disappear, and that's totally fine because I will be top coating these all in. I just didn't expect them to be there, and I kind of appreciate that they're there because it gives you kind of a guide for when you're filing to be short. And these are going to turn into Russian almonds, so our ends are going to be a bit blunt. So we're going to have like a little bit of a guide estimation to try and make them similar. We definitely know that none of them can be longer than this one. Good Lord. Silly. All right. So the other hand, we're going to do the same color scheme, the 2 glitter ones and then the 3 clear ones, but this is the shape. So I think these are really, really fun. And they look like this. Please make some sense, okay? And then they have this flat top. I think they're really pretty. And then you get so much more room to decorate because you have these sides. And then we're going to give them a bit of a diagonal end as well. So that's what we're going to do. All right, let me get the clear. I wish I had this in just like a full cover tip because I do have Russian almond tips and you can get those in different lengths, but these other shapes, they just don't have any pre-made tips already. I'm going to have to finesse this one, so I'm not going to close that up yet. Dang, and I just had this sitting in a pile of Polygelos on that paper towel. I keep sticking stuff in it because I can't see it. But I want to get this in here and see how much more we need. Now, because this one does have a higher apex, we may end up having to use more Polygel per nail, but I'm not sure how much because I cannot estimate. And And we definitely want them to be at least as long as the other hand. So I'm going to, try and get it pretty full, right? Ugh, like, why is this on here? Get out of here. I'm just going to put some on here. I think that'll be easier to get it down inside of there. Thank you. Want a little bit something with the red, but not too much. I do have some really pretty, like, super full cover glitter ones that are in red, and I seriously considered it. But I'm like, that's not going to give me enough versatility as this one, because this one is mostly clear. So the red is more like an accent, and I can easily disguise that into different looks. But if I just did some solid red nails, I'm like, that's not going to fit the vibe of everything. And I want to wear these for at least a couple of weeks. I don't like to change my structure part that often. All right. Let's see. I think that's going to be enough. Yeah. Let me close this. And set this one to the side a little bit. Let me grab our bottom piece. We'll get this stuck on. All right. And then again, with the trying to make it straight enough that it looks good, but not crazy. That's okay, I think. You have only Russian dual forms? There's quite a few shapes of them nowadays. I have a bunch of them, but some of them I've never used because they are so extreme and so large. And so in order to get the most benefit from the shape that they are, you do have to kind of fill them up, but they're not shapes that I'm qualified to wear. But I would like to. All right, now these are the experiment because these don't come with these bottoms, but I think they're going to be able to fit on top of them. If I can stop banging these together, that would be great. Bend your finger out the way, girl. All right. Let me hold everything and squish like hell. I'm going to try and look. I can't hardly see, but I don't see any immediate air bubbles. Let's cure. When I have these super long nails on like this, I feel like I have chopsticks on my fingers and that I'm trying to work around them. All right. So you can see that this one has a significantly thicker nail. And it might be a little bit straight. It's hard to say. I think it is. There is an air bubble there, though. I'm really great at getting the air bubbles, apparently, right there in the free edge. Like, why? Keep moving this because, like, it's too high and then it's too low and then it's in the way. I'm like, I don't know. Okay. We got to do another one of these glitteries. Hello, Lethal Dose. Welcome. We are having a fun but strugglesome polygel time. I'm gonna say this is enough. We're going to try it. It's probably way too much. Look at it, just so sticky. Good Lord. Stay in there. All right, I think that's enough. I think it's going to be. I think. Let's hope for the best. Okay. This is one of my super curvy nails. I'm going to get it up under there. Gotta do a little pinchy. There we go. All right, now try and get this straight. Need to kind of evaluate it. I think that looks straight. I think. And our lamp is turned off. Great. Okay. It's straight enough. Ah. Okay. Scroosh. Okay. Okay. How's it from up here? Can't hardly tell. But let's put that in there. Man, I really hope all of these at least have the sidewalls that go all the way down, because repairing gaps is the most annoying part. Ruins the perfect smoothness. Okay, give that a second. Ow! That was starting to flash. Look, there's an air bubble right there. It's like every one of them is there along that free edge where I can't see it because my finger's above it. That was really starting to burn. Ouch. All right, well, nothing we can do about that now. Let's get our next one. Okay. Sure that's enough. Sure. You, glitter, get out of here. You're not part of this. Are you serious? Hang on. I'm trying to pick up a tool, but I've got these crazy nails on. Is it on the outside? It is. Idiot. Good. Good Lord. Okay. These are so hard to see. But I think that it's got sidewall to sidewall, I think. Probably still way too much back here though. It does have little air bubbles in it, but like, I'm not good enough to get those out. Let's set this down. Let's just scoot that out of the way. It ain't gonna cure way over there. Let's get this next one put on. Ew. Turn that on this time. Okay. All right. I think that's straight-ish. Hope so. Thanks again, guys, for coming to hang out while I do this. It's nice to have somebody to ramble to. Okay. It's so funny because like it looks like it's way too skinny for my nail, but then it just goes on there. All right. Let's cure it. It's got a little bit of squishies out around the cuticle, but it's whatever. We got so much cleanup to work to do. What's a little more? This one ended up squishing all the way down here and out the end. And like, look at all that. That's a lot. Amazing. Okay. Another clear one. I think I'm gonna have to put this one on. Oh, Lord, I just flung that because my nail hit it with this. Please stop flinging stuff. Because it's a skinny nail. I don't know if I can get down in it. Let's just get a bunch pushed out. That's probably enough, right? Probably. Maybe. We're gonna try it. That was quite messy. Ew. And my little wipe has been dry, so it's not so good at cleaning right now. Okay. Let's get this sorted out. All that pushed up in here. Okay. This side is hella thick. Okay. I think it goes all the way down. There's definitely way too much of it, but it's fine. It's fine. Okay. We are making much progress. Hello, welcome, Calming Creations Lori. Thanks for coming. We got 2 nails left and then a lot of work. Okay. Here, oh, get under there. Hello, cat lover. I don't know if you were gone for a minute or just chilling, but welcome back. Ah, yes, that's what we're doing. Is we're doing sandwich dual forms, but on my left hand, we're using the box-shaped top. So it's a sandwich. I need to change the way that angles because it's got the bottom part so that when you put the dual form on top, it squishes them between like this. And so then you can peel off both sides and they'll be smooth. It just makes it clean up easier underneath. I feel like Edward Scissorhands right now. All right, let's get this squished down here. I can't see if there's any air bubbles, so I'm going to hope there isn't. Oh, dang it. My little flash lamp has died. Okay. And apparently my dual form was sliding forward the whole time without my knowledge. Let me scoot that back. All right, we're gonna have a giant air bubble. Wonderful. I'm gonna stick this in my regular lamp. Difficultly, but we're gonna make it work. And then I'm gonna plug that other one in. Okay. Let me take the charger out of my phone. We're gonna plug this in. I hope this will work. Yeah. While it charges, because we got one more to do. This one. And we're back to the sticky icky. All right. Did we learn how much we needed last time? Absolutely not. I'm just touching it ever so lightly, and it's so gushy. Go where I want you to. Don't just come with the brush. I feel like this is incredibly too much. But what you gonna do? It's impossible to get the right amount. I'm gonna try and close this up. Yeah, this is a really popular lamp, and I really like this one. I have some of the like pin ones, and then I have one that's on a stick and whatever, and they're fine. But for some reason, I like this one the best. Excuse me. I didn't say I was ready for you. So we put the bottom on with this top coat. If you didn't get here in time to see it last round. I'm gonna put this here. And then we stick this on the underside of the nail and smush it up under until we believe it's straight. I think that is straight. No, flash cure. You're absolutely right. When you watch videos that are edited, people often take out the struggles and then you don't get to see them or how you get over it. And so that's one of the reasons I like to do this. And then I try to leave that sort of stuff in my videos to a reasonable amount, but you can't leave everything because then they're all going to be a million miles long. It is hard work. Right? I'm only doing this because of the nail shapes that I want to put on, and I don't have another way to make them. All right, let's squish. Oh yeah, that was a lot. And it looks like I'm gonna have to squish a little harder because I didn't have it squished all the way down. All right, let's flash cure that. Okay. I wonder if this is still wet because it is, so I can clean that off. It'll be less I have to file away after. All right, let me put this in the big lamp. We'll clean up that, hot heat spike on this nail. Turn that off. That burns a lot. It's still burning. I'm waiting for it to stop. There's so much gel. But I think we got it down on the sides. I think. It's easing up now. I'm gonna set this up here because I don't want to keep accidentally running into it, but it needs to charge. Okay. All right, let me put this in now. All right, yeah, it's going without burning. And we can close this for now. I'm gonna have to get another one of these out because this one is definitely running low on contents. We've got all this polygel here. I'm gonna throw all that away, but not right this second. Just move it. Get some more wipes from back here. I can't hardly feel what I'm doing, so I'm just trying to use the end of my fingernails to get some. I got some all right. Let me maybe put a few of those back. Not well. That's a mess. I'll clean that up later. Oh, different brands of polygel? Well, yeah. So, like, the only polygel that I've ever encountered that's particularly different and problematic is this freaking Lime Girl. It's hard to work with. But for the rest of them, they're pretty much the same. And the difficulty is really just learning how to do it at all. Let's get these popped off. I guess we can set them right here since we're not going to be using them again, but let's get these dudes loose. Come off of there, fellers. Aha. Okay. I think we did pretty good. Lots of cleanup work to do. Okay, okay. Phew, I was a little concerned that there would be a piece here missing, but it seems like we got the sidewalls pretty good. This side's a little questionable. It looks like it got all the way down, but like just barely. All right, this one's probably going to be a little bit difficult to get off because we don't have a lot of free space. There we go. All right, not bad. This one squished out a lot down there. It doesn't feel very good up under here where I shove them on there extra hard. Try and get this one off. Okay. We're going to have to use a tool to get a hold of this thing. There we go. That looks ridiculous. Okay. And this one might be a similar situation because there's not any free edge. Come on. Get off of there. Just got to get up under it a little bit. Somewhere. I don't like doing it back here because I'm always afraid I'm going to get under too far. Okay, I think I got a spot. There we go. Good. Okay. Look at that. Okay. And then I'm going to break off some of these extra pieces. And then we're going to wipe everything because it is so sticky. I'm going to have to get my desk vacuum out after this because we're going to have dust everywhere along with all these little sticky shards. Ugh, I'm going to have to file through that apparently because it's thick. Okay, let's see if we can't clean some of this sticky gross off. Oh, hey, Alicia. Welcome in. It's less sticky. Okay, I think we can do a little functional work here. I'm just going to put this paper towel here though because we're going to file on it. So I'll go in on the cuticles last, but I want to try and get these edges better first and then our ends. Now Polygel files really easily, so you got to be careful or you'll do too much. Just do a few swipes at a time and feel, because the shape is the shape already. We just want to get off this extra bit where it got too much from the squishing. So once those edges are smooth, we're good. I can get that with the thing. Yeah, and we'll come back and do the shapes on the ends after we get these big old chunky bits taken care of. It's always hard to file the side that faces away because you can't see. I feel like it's a little bit still edgy. That's better. Right here is going to need a little bit more refinement, but I think I might just wait until I've got my drill out to get at it. All right, that's coming along. Okay, not too bad. A little bit of a lip here. Okay. This cuticle's a mess. It's disgusting. They're feeling pretty good so far. Now, when it comes time to shorten these have got to get so much shorter. Like, I'm going to have to do some hella filing. I used to use the, like, tip cutter and cut my polygels down shorter, but for, you know, sometimes it'll just break them and not where you want it to be, not where you're cutting, and then you end up with too short, and that makes me mad. So I'm not going to do that. All right. All of our edges are feeling pretty good on that hand. Let's get this one. All right. That box is looking pretty nice, crisp. It's got enough sidewall underneath. Let me check. I know y'all been talking and I ain't even looking. My laptop fell asleep. I ain't looking over there either. Well, thanks for coming, Lori, if you haven't left already. I appreciate you. I think somebody needs to take me to get something to eat, actually. Somebody who's not me. This one, look. This sidewall didn't get very much polygel. Because, like, look how far it comes up. It's a good thing that we're going to be shorting these. Hopefully I can disguise that. Yeah, this one's... I just didn't get enough of it going down, I think. Because this side seems to be similar. Now, I could just do another you know, squish on it, like put some more Polygel inside the dual form and then put it on top of this one to fill that in. And that might end up being what I have to do because there's a notch here where that air bubble is. And so I don't know if this one's going to be safe. I might have to. Not going to be happy to do it, but that one's probably going to need work. Because, like, really, it should be coming out like this. Let's just see how everything goes. I might do a little creative shaping. If enough of them need it, we'll see. This one's got a big old schnoz. Okay. All right. I think that's good on the sides. Now we got to shorten some of these. I'm not looking forward to having to file through this. And this file is pretty worn down, so I'm going to open a fresh one because we're about to grind the crap out of the tips. Do I have any 8080s? I feel like I should have. No. I was hoping I had some 8080s left, but I don't. But we'll use this. It's brand new. It'll cut through the bullcrap. Now this one isn't going to need much because it's already about as short as we want it to be. So we're just going to work on our slant. Because that center line was squished to the side on this one, it's kind of weird. I'm trying to decide if I want it to be like this angle or if I want to do it more like that. Because I feel like I'd like it a little bit steeper, but also I kind of like it like that. So like that's the angle I currently have. But I could file it to be a little bit more that way. I feel like I would like maybe a little bit more. not sure that that really got much deeper. I think it just got shorter. I guess that's the angle I'm getting because I'm not competent enough to make it another angle. That looks okay though. Okay. Now we got to work on the rest of these being similar. So this one's got to get like at least that much shorter, which is quite a bit. Ta-ta, thank you. Thanks for coming and hanging out while you could. I appreciate it. Power file. That makes me nervous. Ah, I knew something felt wrong. Remember where I said there was that big old air bubble? It broke. That means I gotta do that whole nail again. Damn it. Well, that's just freaking wonderful. So great. I'm just going to shorten it up. I'm going to fix it after. We'll get the rest of them figured out. But yeah, I'm going to have to file that thin and do it again. Let's hope that we can get this one. Now it's going to be hard to measure the length across these two, but it goes to the L. Okay. All right. Let's hope we don't break another one. There's some more that have those questionable air bubbles, and those might break too. Okay. We want it to be just slightly longer than the tip of that second curve, I think. So we're going to start this shape. Sorry, I'm not very chatty right now because I'm concentrating and looking at this. Trying to get it remotely the right length. I think we're almost there. Like it seems pretty similar. This one might be slightly shorter, but I definitely want it to be a little bit more. The tip of that needs to be more similar. This one's so sharp. I'm like, I feel like it should be a little bit more rounded, and trying to make the other ones as sharp as this one is really what's too much. Let me just blunt that one off a little. And I think that nail grows a little bit crooked, so it's like twisted this way a little, so it doesn't look flat. It seems about right though. All right, let's get this next one. It really doesn't have to go down a ton. Ah. Okay. I feel like it's just still slightly long. That looks good, right? Unfortunately, this guy's awful. Hey, Mabel. See, you snuck in here. Hey, Glam Dragon, Alicia. You sent me a floating heart. Thank you. I appreciate that. Lip smacking nails channel. Okay. We need to figure out how we're going to look at this. So this one needs to get down to being about the same length as the others, which means down to that L. So we're going to power file. Maybe this one won't break. Okay, that's good. Let's start the shaping. See here. Oh, it's still kind of way too long. Okay. Let's check it. So I'm measuring everything to the L. It's still too long. All right, let's see now. Okay. Okay, let's just keep being too long. Let's see if we can make it look like it's not with some blunting. I'm afraid if I make it any shorter, it's going to be disproportionately short. But also, I don't want it to be crazy looking. Give it a little bit more file, I guess. Maybe a little steeper of an angle. I gotta turn it over to file it because I can't hardly see from the top. There we go. Now, surely. Yes, that's much better. Okay. Yes. All right. Now we can get this other sides fixed up. All right, what did I miss? Let me check the chat. They give free gems? I didn't know they did that. No worry, cat lover. You can come and go. It's totally fine. Obviously, we're going to be here for a minute. Hey, honey. Thanks for coming, girl. All right, let's see if we can't get this one to be shortened up as well. We're going to try and use kind of the same guide of going to the L. So we got to power some of this off. Holding the pinky is so hard because you got to get a hold of it in such a weird way. I'm only able to go one direction on this because I can't get a good hold on this side because my thumbnail's terrible. All right, let's check that length. It's probably still way too long. Actually, it's not. Okay, now we can get the angle. Goodness. All right, let me have a little look at this. The end of it certainly is not straight, but we will make it so. It's so hard to do this because you just can't stabilize your pinky in any functional way. I'm sorry you can't see this because I'm like trying to look at it. That's kind of the shape that we want to do. All right, so we're going to try and match the rest of that up to that. Let's just make sure. Still about the L length. Now this one, it's got a lot we've got to take down. Good Lord. Let's check it. It's pretty good. Actually, almost went too far. Let's get that shape fixed. And I think this is the one that was like too thin, wasn't it? It didn't go down on the sides enough. But we might be able to disguise that now. That corner got blunted, and I want a crisp corner. Okay, let's see how that's looking. It's like this side's filed like this somehow. You can only do so much fixing or it's not going to be even anymore and it'll be too short. But if I have to shorten the one next to it, I guess that's what I'll do. Because I want them to be the same. Yeah, now this one's got to get a lot shorter. Getting close. I think they're about the same length. It's just the way that this one angles is weird. But it looks pretty straight. So now we got to get through this guy, which has a lot. All right. I'm glad you're liking the shape. It's a really pretty shape once you can get it there. And this part would be a lot faster if I would just cut it, but I don't like when I break it. So I'll just work hard. All right, let's check that. All right, yeah, we got a little bit left. Okay, now let's start working on that shape. little bit long still, but not much. Okay. I think that's good. Get this guy with his big old nose. All right. Let's power file. At least only one has broken so far that we have to fix. All right, let's look at that. Needs a little bit more shorter. Ooh, dang, we got that one all the way. Now we just only got a shape. Not bad. Okay. The pinky might be slightly longer than the rest of them, but I can always fix that later. Let's measure. Because we got to get this thumb. So they're a little bit longer than the L. That's all right. So we got to get this one down to like here. That seems ridiculous. Let's say matching on this side. So more like here. Let's grind through some of this real quick. Okay, we're getting pretty close. So I think we're going to work on getting that shape right. All right. It's a little bit long. Shorten it up just a smidgen. I think that's pretty fair length. Okay. So much dust. Let's scoot these to the side. I am going to file this thin with my drill, especially because we're going to need to use it to do this cuticle stuff. I have a fine bit on here because I can't be trusted to use a coarse one. Okay. I think that's thin enough for us to put another polygel nail on it. So that's what we're gonna do. It is already polygel, so it'll stick to it. Let me see if we can clean this bit up a little bit though, because we got to put that bottom side back on. Okay, so what size did we have on here? I think like 7 for that, and 8 for this, I believe, or also a 7. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Goodness gracious, I am so covered in dust. That's okay. Let's do this up real quick. I'm going to try and look at this one real good to make sure there's not a giant air bubble. That's going to be my intention. But like, it's... I don't see an air bubble in there. There better not turn into one. I don't want to cure this, but let me put it over here. Okay, let's get this part on here. Point this in a more functional way. Okay. Now, let's just get this guy put on. No more problems. Other than apparently a ton of squishing. But whatever, we'll deal with that in a minute. Wonder if I can clean this off or if it's already... it was a little bit wet. Not bad. Guess I'll have to do most of that as a filing. That's okay. There's plenty of that to go around. All right. Let me stick this in the lamp. There's so much dust, you guys. I have dust collectors, but they're so noisy. They're not real good for live streaming. All right, so that one's out. Let's see what we've got. Please, why? You gotta do this again? There we go. I do not see an air bubble this time. So that's good. All right. Let's clean up these sides. I've been filing the crap out of my skin right there. Oh. I don't know if I was wiggling my desk or what, because my dual forms were sitting on top of this dryer and they just slid off the side. All right, let's get this side. All right, I will come back for that cuticle area. We need to file this short like its companions. That's a lot we gotta file down. Look how much extra this one has. Okay. I've gotten to where I have such a little workspace. See all this stuff everywhere. Okay. The length is about there. Now all we need is the shape. Okay, let me just move that. Jeez. Okay. I'm gonna have to decide if I want the tips of these to be more pointed or not, because like some of them I've got more blunt than others, but I think that's a nice round. Now we gotta clean up all these cuticles. All right, we're getting so close. Oh yes, hello Love Bunny. We used these like box shaped ones on this hand, and then we used these on this hand. They're just like normal shape, but I made the end of them like that, and we used the bottoms, sandwich dual forms. All right, now this is when I gotta be super careful. I do this on a speed of 1 because even then that's fast, and I am not left-handed. I just banged myself in this nail. It scared me. It's not. I gotta go so slow. And like, I'll just have to come back and go the other direction. Trying to pull the skin back on the opposite side of your finger where you don't have any finger or thumb to pull with. I'm like, I don't know what I'm supposed to do here. Try and hold it. Get a little skint. I'm gonna have to clip that off. Some of these back sides are kind of yuck. Good thing that's going to be disguised with top coat. Okay. This one's got like all kinds of gel dried on the skin. I have to buff that off. Okay, I think that's pretty good. We'll come in and refine it once we get it cleaned up and can see better, but let's do this other hand. I'm all up under the camera so I can get real up close with my eyes. Okay. Let's turn that off for a moment and get all this dust cleared away so we can see what we got going here. Ah! All right. We're looking very crustified, very dustified. That's okay though. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my little buffing block. It's kind of soft because I've been buffing it for a while, and just kind of go around the edges of these to try and make it as smooth as possible and rough up or get some of this rough skin off of there too if I can. Cuticle oil is going to help, but it's not a miracle worker. This one particularly got it. And that, it's like, is this a glitter that's just flopping around here? It's what it seems like. Either get flat or get off of there. It's like I could file in there better. Maybe if I just come in with this one, just delicately. It's okay, I think. It's like it just gets skinnier here, and then my finger fat sticks out over there. That. I don't know if that looks more reasonable or not. I don't know. Whatever. Now these square ones, I'm definitely going to want to be real conservative with my top coating because I don't want to lose my shape. Okay. I think that might be going to be the best these are going to get. Like, I can't nitpick forever, right? I think I'm pretty happy with the shapes, at least of this hand. This one, I'm a little conflicted about like the curve at the end. Some of them seem pointier than others, but you can only do so much. Like, how pointy do I actually want it? I need to decide. I think that's better for that one. Okay, I think I need to go wash my hands. We're about to the top coating part. There's, Jesus, so much dust. All right. Y'all hang out for a second. I am going to go wash this dusty stuff off and grab another bottle of top coat. Thank you for the hearts and the likes and all of your interactions. I appreciate you guys. All right. So this is actually my favorite gel top coat. I know, you wouldn't think Born Pretty would be, but it's because of the brush. Like, it's got crap on it, apparently, but it's super soft, and so I just like the way that it feels on the nail. And so this is the one I usually use whenever I do other people's nails. But we're going to use it on mine today. Goodness gracious. Get out of here, you flower. Let me just... It helps a little bit. I have to change my mat and stuff because it's just full of dust. And clean up all those. Now, Let's use as thin of a coat as humanly possible so we don't ruin our shape. And I'm going to do the underside as well. Keeps it cleaner longer. And then wipe those edges. All right, I'm going to cure these before we do the thumb. Thank you guys for sticking around. I know this has taken quite a long time. I appreciate you being here, though. I appreciate the support. Are they? I didn't realize nails had a sexuality. Thanks, Jess. Just curing this hand. So, once we get these all top coated in and whatever, they'll be available to paint on top of. What kind of design do you think we should do first on either one of these nails? Like, aside from the base thing that's here, like it's its own thing, but you know, I'm going to try and wear these for a couple weeks. And so lots of nail sets to do. We're going to be on the other side of Valentine's Day, so no more Valentine's Day nails. What kind of nails are you guys looking forward to doing? I think for me, I'm definitely ready for more spring, more flowers. I don't know if I'm quite ready for pastels yet, but maybe. Or should we do like a season of not seasonal in between now and spring? I don't know. What do you think? All right, let me cure that guy. Thank you, Sherry. I appreciate that. More color? Definitely. I'm here for it. Not seasonal. Yeah, I was thinking maybe that's a good idea too, because I have like a lot of stuff that I can do designs with that are not necessarily related to any season. So it's like, when is a good time to do it? But anytime, I suppose. Now, this is the hand that I'm going to be extra, extra, extra conservative with so I don't lose my squares. Yes, that is looking real glassy. This one still has this notch in it here on the side where it didn't get completely made along there, and I hope it doesn't break. We're going to find out though. Goodness, I almost stuck that hand in the lamp as if I was ready for that. I forgot. That quick. Brain damage. All right, now we can put that in the lamp. And then all we have left is the thumb and cuticle oil. Thank you. I do have a phenomenal collection of nail polishes. I wish there was a reasonable way to just show them to you. What I might can do, just to give you a general idea, though, is once we get these nails finished, I can just show you my shelves real quick so you can get an idea of what we're looking at. I'm going to buff the underside of these because I can feel a little bit of texture, especially like right here. So that'll help. And then look, I got to buff that finger. I have so many awesome polishes that I haven't even had a chance to use. And I always intend to, but then you get busy doing other stuff or you get some new ones and then you forget they exist till you go looking. You gotta make opportunities to use them, I think. right. Last cure. Can you believe it? Look, the camera is wigging out. Please do some sensible stuff. So shiny. Got a little bit of a bloody spot. That was an accident. I get so much joy out of clacking my nails on things, like the back of my phone, especially when I'm holding it. My daughter likes to get on me, and then I'm like, let me live my life. Ugh, gotta do some buffing right there, too. All right, that's out. Just buffing my finger, not my nail. They're like Polygel. Okay. Just doing a little bit, because if you do this too much, it'll start messing with your shape. But I just want to make sure that they're smooth. I do this with paint too. And then you can go and feel, make sure there's no rough textures on them edges. I think that's good. All right, let's oil these puppies up. We got dish one. I am not conservative with my oil at all because I just rub it all over my hands. All right. That's looking much better. It's not all dusty and gross. I think the little bit of glitter is just a little pop of something. So I like it. A little party on the nail. And then these other guys are quite chill so that they don't distract away from whatever design that we do. What I like when I do stuff like this is sometimes the polishes you use on top are sheer enough that you can see the light pass through. And so you'll see like this sparkle from behind. And it's interesting because like you don't really notice it all the time. And you're like, what is that? And then you figure it out. Thank you. I like them. I think we did a good job, guys. I hope if you learned anything, you learned what not to do. And when y'all give this a crack, you don't have to go through as many hurdles as I did. But definitely do try sandwich dual forms if you're wanting to do polygel. It makes it a lot easier. I'm going to wipe this excess oil off on this so that I can touch my phone screen. And we'll have a little quick look at my nail polish shelves before we hop off of here for funsies. I'm sorry, I wasn't that chatty either because I was paying attention. Whenever I paint, sometimes I zone out because I have to concentrate to stay in the lines and stuff. But let's have a tour. So this was my first wall, and I used to only have 3 of these shelves. But so it goes up here, and then I had to put some up here, and then I had to get this wall because I ran out of space. But then when this one got crowded, we had to come over here, and I had to do these. And then those got crowded, so then we had to start doing these. And that's where I've ran out. We're going to end up over here eventually, I'm sure. But that's everything, and that's all my nail polish shelves, my hoard. That's just nail polish. But thank you for coming and for hanging out and for your likes and your chat and all the good stuff. I appreciate you. I'll definitely be keeping up with all your stuff. So I'll see you later.